Shields led off the game with a walk. Some impressive at-bats, I guess, against Roger Clemens. You know, Baines has faced him over 100 times. Cal Ripken has faced him over 100 times. They've been pretty successful.
The Orioles will like that to carry over today. As we said, offensively, it's not been a problem for the Birds, averaging better than 6 runs per game. And you might think that 28 games worth would give you a little better than 15 and 13, as Ripken got jammed and popped it up for Clay Bellinger to take care of. So after Clemens walks Baines on 4 straight, Cal Ripken getting the bat started on the first pitch he saw and popped out to Bellinger.
You could see Bellinger on that play take a little look at Cal Ripken to see if he was running down the line. I think he's ready to pull a Robbie Alomar, letting it fall and try to turn 2, but Cal was hustling.
You could count on Roberto to show you that maybe half dozen times a year.
Do something tricky.
There's Jeff Conine now. Conine above 300 at 306. As he looks at a called strike. We were mentioning about Roger Clemens when he works out of the stretch. Mike, let's take a look at where the rocket is in relation to the rubber.
Well, he's about dead center in the middle. He's moved over to the first base side of that rubber, a little adjustment that he's made.
He did it. David Cone moved from one side of the mound to the other, and after Cone was not impressive at all and racked up in his first couple starts, had a good one here a week ago Friday against Toronto, and he shut him out for 7 innings and got a win. And adjustments from the 2 veterans of the Yankees.
Yeah, it's all about angles, and sometimes when you're on the third base side of that rubber, you feel like your fastball runs off the plate, so by moving to the first base side gives you a little bit better angle at the inside corner.
Baines going. Conine with a ground ball that Jeter will charge on to toss out the O's first baseman. Well, Mike Hargrove starting Harold Baines and keeping the Orioles out of the potential double play.
A pretty good jump by Harold, just out of the reach of Roger Clemens. Only place to go, first base. Well, that'll put a runner in scoring position for Greg Myers.
Myers with 1 base hit since putting on the O's uniform. 1 for 11. Myers making his 4th start. Myers faced his Yankee staff last year in the World Series as a member of the Atlanta Braves. I remember, I think he got a start in the finale, game 4, the 4-game Yankee sweep over Atlanta. Myers becoming a valuable addition to the Orioles catching corps. I wanted to get the veteran, Mike, and a guy that is known for handling the pitching staff well, that can maybe catch a couple of times a week, and that's exactly what Greg Myers has delivered and what he's evolved into.
He can come in on those day games and certainly give you a quality effort behind the plate. It's also an advantage to be left-handed, so against a tough right-hander like Clemens, it really is twofold. Give Charles Johnson a day off and another left-handed bat in the lineup.
Now in each inning, the O's have put a runner in scoring position against Roger Clemens. The 2-1 to Myers, bounced right back to the Rocket. Let's go to the bottom of the 2nd here in Yankee Stadium. Still scoreless on O's TV. Afternoon's Mars Supermarket's first pitch sweepstakes player is Bud Gray from Timonium. All right, Bud, congratulations to you. You correctly predicted today's first pitch would be a strike. And for that, you're going to receive a $100 gift certificate to Mars Supermarkets and an HTS t-shirt. You'll receive your prize by mail within 30 days. We head to the bottom of the 2nd. Big throng here at Yankee Stadium. Just about capacity. For 42,000 were in here for the opener last night. And Wild 12-10. The Yankees win. One of the heroes from last night, Bernie Williams. Now Bernie has gone 1 RBI above Mike Bordick into the top spot. in the American League RBI leadership with his 31. As Pat Rapp deals in the outside corner. Now, Mike, last night, this is an 0-2 pitch from Buddy Groom.
Yeah, I talked to Buddy about that pitch this morning. Cut fastball or slider. That Buddy said he was trying to bounce on that 0-2 situation, but left it belt high down the middle. And Bernie Williams, who's hit some pretty memorable home runs versus the Orioles.
This is roped into the corner and right. Extra bases for Bernie Williams as Albert Bell will pick the baseball up off the barrier. Stand-up double. Bernie Williams, who is ultra hot right now with a bat. And Bernie Williams, he now has a 13-game Yankee hit streak with his 9th double of the year.
Well, cut fastball from Pat Rapp, trying to get it on the hands. You see that quick bat from Bernie Williams, and he is now 3 for his last 3. And those long, quick sprinter strides easily into second base. Again, he has the best numbers in the lineup versus Pat Rapp, now 7 for 15.
There's Tino Martinez. Quality at bat for Tino last night. Young B.J. Ryan is ahead of him at 1 and 2. Trying to go after Tino with a variety of breaking pitches. Mike threw a couple of sliders that he tried to get Tino to chase. One up in the zone, one down in the zone, and Martinez wouldn't bite.
Yeah, he looked bad on one of those sliders, and B.J. came back again with it. But Tino made the adjustments. Again, that at bat probably set up the whole inning. Put runners on first and second, nobody out. And then a situation where I think certainly the Orioles thought that Posada would be bunting to move the runners up into scoring position, set up the win. Just didn't work out.
Tino Martinez has been an RBI machine since putting on the Yankee pinstripes for the last 4 years. Raps 0-2. Showed him that fastball away. The Yanks moved Sterling Hitchcock and Russ Davis, starting pitcher and third baseman, back in the end of the '95 season to get Tino Martinez and his bat here in the Bronx. And that, of course, coincided with the time that Don Mattingly called it quits.
He's been a very productive hitter. Been the first Yankee to have at least 25 homers and 100 RBIs in his first 4 seasons, since DiMaggio did it 6 times back from 1936 till 41.
Well, Rapp trying to get Martinez with a 2-2 pitch, and he did. Breaking ball, had Martinez waving over the top of it. It's a second strikeout for Pat Rapp.
What has improved for Pat Rapp is his breaking stuff. Pretty good curveball. A good spot down and away from Tino Martinez.
Strong ovation for this young man, Jorge Posada. When, as the New York tabloids are wont to do, everything is sensationalized, and was it the New York Post on their back page today? Hip, hip, Jorge. And this is why, Mike.
This is right. First and second on B.J. Ryan, nobody out. You see B.J. give it a couple of casual steps and a look. And that is their first walk-off home run since a year or so ago when Scott Brocious did it off Arthur Rhodes.
Fly ball deep left center field. Surhoff chasing back. That ball's over his head and up against the wall. Williams will score easily on the long opposite field double off the bat of Jorge Posada. Yanks with the early lead. A couple of doubles here in the second off Pat Rapp.
Well, Posada now 3 for his last 3 and 6 for his last 13. Again, we talked about the importance of keeping the ball down. This ball stays up and about thigh high. Posada, a lot of power to the opposite field for Posada. So the Yankees score first. Their record this year when they score first, 14-1.
I got 3 in the opening inning last night off Scott Erickson. Ground ball by Rapp off the bat of Shane Spencer as Mike Bordick will throw him out. With Posada moving over to third, so Spencer picking on the first pitch, bouncing out to Bordick. It's 2 down now here in the Yanks second. Get Scott Brosius to the plate. Brosius made an early season trip to the DL. He's swinging the bat well since he's come back off. Had some big hits for the Yankees in their sweep of the Cleveland Indians in Jacobs Field. Also made a few fine defensive plays as well. Rapp's right there with his fastball to get ahead of Brosius.
Yeah, Brosius heating up. He's 8 for his last 16. Now up over 300, 313. Had that strained rib cage. Put him on the DL early in April.
As we were talking about last night, though, Mike, it has been the Yankees' ability to come out of the bullpen and have Stanton, Nelson, and Grimsley either keep games in order or keep leads, and turning it over to Ronald Rivera. And the reason why the Yankees are 11 games over 500.
Well, their starters are 10-8. Their bullpen is 9-0. Orioles starters 8-7, and the pen just 7-6.
Working out of the windup, trying to get Brosius to end this second inning, and he's fallen behind 3-1. So, Mike, we talk about approaches. Pat Rapp is a guy that comes across his body. Sometimes that can get you in particular situations, can it?
Yeah, his problem, or one of his problems, is certainly his delivery at times. He ends up being pretty upright at the end of his delivery, and I know he spent a lot of time with Sammy Ellis and getting him to keep his weight back and to follow through and to keep that cut fastball down. And when he does it, he is very effective.
Most fans, the Seattle Mariners are coming to the Yard in the latter part of this month of May. Alex Rodriguez, Edgar Martinez, and all of Lou Pinella's guys. 3-game series, 23rd through the 25th. A lot of good seats still remain for all 3 7:05 night games. I'll get your tickets by calling the number you see on your screen. You can do it on the Orioles website as well. But want to see you out at the Yard. As the team that leads the AL West right now, Lou Piniella and his Seattle Mariners will come on in. Here's Clay Bellinger. Bellinger last year made a spot for himself on this ball club as an extra man for Joe Torre. He can just about give anybody in the infield a day off, play all 4 infield positions.
See that armband that the Yankees are sporting on that left sleeve? That is in memory of former manager and Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Lemon, who passed away this year, January 11th.
How many times did Lemon replace the fired Billy Martin?
6 or 7 times, it seemed like.
Multiple, no question about it. A terrific guy. Of course, a big part of that Cleveland Indian pitching staff that featured, of course, Early Wynn and Mike Garcia. Rapp brought out the nasty slider on 2-0.
Wasn't that the staff that had the record for the most wins in a season that the Yankees just broke? There's that cut fastball. See, it just keeps sliding away from the right-handed hitters. You want the extendo bat, try to reach out and grab it. Just keeps darting away.
Rapp trying to hit Clay Bellinger. 2-1 pitch. This is lifted to short right. Delano to Shields. Back in the outfield grass to put the squeeze on it. Second inning's done. Yankees do get 1 on the Posada RBI double and take the early lead. Let's take a look at our Bell Atlantic Orioles community calendar. The Oriole Advocates are ready to go again with the 12th annual 5K home run and fun walk. It happens last Sunday in June the 25th, 8 a.m. Of course, the annual event at Camden Yards. And for info, call Mr. Dave Cooley at the number you see on your screen. Be a part the Orioles Advocates 12th annual 5K home run and fun walk. You and I ride in that always, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hard time driving a marathon. I don't mind running one.
Okay.
Get tired driving.
You one of those two-seaters for Flanagan and Rega here.
I watch all those exercise shows. I don't do any.
Here's Richie Amaral to lead it off against Roger Clemens in the Orioles half of the third. Now Richie getting the start today in center field against Clemens and hitting out of the number 9 slot. And Mike Hargrove's lineup as he looks at a called strike as Clemens is quickly ahead at 0-2. Got him swinging on 3 pitches. Well, there's Clemens coming up in the zone as Amaral expanding a little bit as Clemens racks up his second strikeout.
Climbing the ladder, you can see where this ball goes by in relationship to Amaral. This is the one you have to lay off. 37 still has an overpowering fastball, went up in the zone.
You don't see any drop in velocity at all from Roger?
Well, he can still reach back, and certainly I think he's a little bit more polished pitcher as he reached his, I guess, later stages of his career. He's added that fork ball. He was really just fastball slider and overpowering the first 10 years of his career.
Well, last night, Delino DeShields, what a wonderful evening offensively. Also made a couple of good plays going to his right. 4 base knocks and used the whole diamond here in the Bronx. This is the double deep over Bernie Williams' head in center field out near the 408. Mike, I think that was one of the best at bats last night by an Oriole.
No question. He just had a superb night. Made an out his first time up, flew out the center, and after that 4 straight base hits all over the base paths.
That's the interesting thing last night. The Orioles did just about everything right offensively. They executed, played very aggressively, moved runners over, a couple of sacrifice bunts that were excellent last night, and yet the nature of the game. You lose a lead in the late innings and it all kind of gets washed away.
I think that's why closers get paid what they get paid. It's again, you know, the Orioles really won the ball game for 8 innings. It's just that 9th inning. It really is demoralizing when it happens.
DeShields on the 0-2 pitch, fly ball to right. O'Neill coming on toward the diamond to reach up and pull it down. Delino DeShields. Clemens got in on him a little bit and got him to fly to right. Now the New York Yankees pitching wise have been tremendous in winning 3 World Championships in the last 4 years. Take a look from 96 to 99 at their 4 main right now: Cone, Pettit, El Duque, and the Rocket Roger Clemens. But Mike, look at the postseason numbers for these 3 guys combined with the Mariano Rivera at the back of the pen.
Well, you know, just they've won 12 consecutive World Series games. They have the all-time record for doing that. So they've been nothing short of unbeatable almost in postseason.
They have been that good as Bordick fouls it off. And you talk about the 2 37-year-olds, Clemens today, and of course, you know, every year it's been that David Cone will have problems come August, September, and he has, and you have to give him extra days. But you saw that 6, it seems like in October, he does nothing but go out and throw gems.
And they've done a nice job with Rivera holding his innings down and work low. So he's fresh for the postseason. Of course, he was the MVP of the World Series last year. And has one of the lowest ERAs. I think he's only given up 1 run ever in the World Series.
This ball club has set the bar the last few years. There's no question about that. And the Orioles, Boston Red Sox, Cleveland Indians, all the ball clubs in the American League, that's where everybody aspires to be. And still have to come through here and go through the Yankees, and maybe that could make the taste that much sweeter if it gets done.
Certainly right. And that's why you gauge yourself when you play the Yankees. That's why last night was such an important game psychologically. Again, the Orioles feel like they won for 8, but went home very disappointed last night. They really manufactured a couple of runs to take that 10-8 lead, and Brady Anderson sacrificed bunt, the Shields getting over to third base, sacrifice fly. I mean, really feel good at bats by the Oriole offense last night. It was just difficult getting the, I guess, at the 25th out last night.
Mike Bordick out of that open stance, awaits the 1-2 for Clemens. split in the dirt. Mike's no longer a secret. You know, everywhere we go around the American League, everyone asking us about what's gotten into Bordick. And of course, in his usual professional style, Mike continues to downplay his tremendous start.
He asked him how his ankle was this morning. Sort of had a jarring incident at second base. Said it was fine. Orioles could ill afford to lose Mike Bordick.
Jammed it on the bag as he stretched to the glove side to get a throw from Jeff Conine. Came back to that bag and jammed that right ankle down hard to beat Leday. Base hit right field. 3-2 pitch that stayed up and away, and Mike Bordick rode it on a line to right. 2-out base hit for the O's. Well, Mike Bordick just continues on his merry way as the Bordick hit streak has now reached 10 games.
And you see the cross-seam fastball grip by Roger Clemens. Bordick just goes right with it. Not a bad pitch by Clemens away from Bordick.
B.J. Surhoff now. Saw Posada come out of that chute as Bordick bluffed going on the first pitch.
And Bordick trying to time Clemens in that delivery, that stretch position.
Ground ball at Brosius. He'll handle the hop. Covering to get the force on Bordick. Yankees lead at 1-0. Bottom of third next here at Yankee Stadium. Harold Baines Poster Day. Make your plans to be at the yard Sunday, May 28th for the Baines posters that can be yours. All fans that come out to see the 135 O's A's games will receive a free Harold Baines poster, courtesy of French Bray Printers. So get your tickets by calling 1-888-848-BIRD or do it on the Orioles website as well. The manager of the New York Yankees, Joe Torre, and his right-hand man, literally Don Zimmer. Now, that fence has been constructed with the mesh in front of it, of course, because remember last year Don Zimmer took that shot and came out the next night. Mike had the battle gear on and the Army-style helmet. You know, when he joined this ball club, he, of course, after managing the Boston Red Sox, rented the home that was held by former Yankee shortstop Bucky Dent. And Zimmer said, I got to make some changes to this New Jersey house.
Yeah, the Dent homer done that memorable 1978 playoff against the Red Sox. And Don Zimmer was the manager of the Red Sox. When he came up here, he rented Bucky Dent's house. So the two things he remembered about it was the white shag carpeting, and in every room he would go into would be a picture of Dent's follow through and that home run. And Don said he couldn't take it, so when he finally ran into Bucky Dent later on that year, he said, I had to go around every room and turn the pictures face down and spit a little tobacco juice on that nice white shag carpet. One little way of payback for Bucky Dent.
I wonder if Don cleaned things up a little bit when Bucky came home after the baseball season was through.
But he is certainly well loved, certainly by the Yankees, and especially Joe Torre. They're talking about Zim's arthritic knee. He's been wanting to go home for the last couple of years, and Joe won't let him. He said, if you go home, your leg's still going to hurt. You might as well have it hurting sitting next to me.
Makes sense.
But 51 years in the big leagues, 51 years in professional baseball for Don Zimmer.
Ricky Leday has taken Pat Rapp to the full count here, leading off in the Yankees half of the third. A lot of fun to talk baseball with Don. We always try to catch him a time or two around the cage when the Orioles are playing the Yankees. 3-2 pitch. Got him. Now Myers will complete the strikeout by gunning down the Conine as Rapp got Leday to chase.
Let's check out the location. This last pitch again. It's that cut fastball. You can see the funny look the day gives really to the baseball after that out.
For Pat Rapp, that's strikeout number 3 as he now looks at this Yankee lineup for the second time. Fan Derek Jeter back in the opening inning. Dare I say right now the Derek Jeter bat is kind of cool in terms of
right.
Jeter anyway. Uh, 2-0 on the Yanks shortstop. Matinee idol here in New York City. No question about that. Everywhere you go on the streets of Manhattan is Derek Jeter, New York Yankee paraphernalia.
Derek Sanderson Jeter. I wonder if there's a hockey connection there.
He's from Michigan. And of course, Derek has been a Detroit sports fan as he was growing up, but loved the Yankees as well. Fights this off, driven to the gap in right center. Amaral to his left, reach up and haul it in. Well, Rich Amaral covering some ground in that gap in right center field.
For the first time that Jeter's gotten the ball out of the infield in this short 2-game series. This is what he does so well, pull those hands in. The Orioles have been doing a nice job of keeping the ball below Jeter's hands. That's the first one they've gotten up to him in this series.
There's Paul O'Neill now. There's Pat Rapp. Was impressive in the opening inning. He gave up the doubles to Bernie Williams and Jorge Posada in the second. Now he's trying to set the Yankees down in order here in the third. A 1-1 now on Paul O'Neill. 5 straight years over 300 as a New York Yankee. Some about putting on the Yankee pinstripes, I guess, huh, Mike?
I guess. Certainly has been a very valuable member of the Yankee offense. He just gives you quality at bats. Fights all the way through the count. Did it last night before he hit that home run. Fought off a number of tough pitches. Finally got one he can handle.
Rapp dealing 2-1 to O'Neill. Leaving the count at 2-2. Pat Rapp, young man from the state of Louisiana. Well, Rapp's a guy. Will Clark has a buddy now that he can
fishing buddy.
hang out with and talk fishing and hunting in the off season here in the Orioles. We've told you a lot that Pat had some very valuable starts. There's Will, of course. Disappointed about being on the DL. O'Neill with a bouncing ball to a charging Mike Bordick. Nice, neat, and tidy third inning for Pat Rapp. So let's head to the fourth. Yankees with a 1-0 lead.
WB50's coverage of Baltimore Orioles baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at www.southwest.com, a symbol of e-freedom. And by Atlantic Auto. Mile 1, now you drive. Check us out at mile1.com.
Now things have settled down a little bit here in game 2, at least through 3 innings worth. The Yankees with a 1-0 lead after the 22 runs that were put on the board last night. And all of the fireworks that went off from both sides. So Albert Bell to lead off against Roger Clemens here in the O's half of the fourth. Albert with a fly ball left center field. Not going to be deep enough as Bernie Williams is back near the track and put it away. Clemens gets Bell on the fly ball with Bernie Williams. It's good to have long time Orioles and Baltimore Colts Hall of Fame radio voice Chuck Thompson here at Yankee Stadium. We had a chance, Mike and I, to talk to Chuck and his wife Betty today, and Chuck, of course, working on the Orioles radio broadcast as Fred Manfra is away doing his Kentucky Derby thing in Louisville today. So Chuck, obviously a big part of Orioles baseball, and he was explaining to us today at the hotel, Mike, about what he's going to go through in terms of this procedure to try to help him a little bit as far as restoring some vision that he's had problems with. So we wish Chuck the best, obviously.
Nothing but the best.
Yeah.
He also wanted to talk some pitching this morning.
Yeah, he did. Or lack thereof.
Chuck's old school with that pitching.
Yeah, he is. Speaking of pitching, the pitch count on Roger Clemens. We had a nice conversation. I got to tell you, a lot of it was about you, because he was very complimentary of your work as a baseball color analyst. And his comment to me was, couldn't happen to a better guy, and we're happy to keep an Oriole in the family. So
terrific. Thanks.
Very nice of Mr. Thompson.
The first time I ever did any broadcasting at all was with Chuck Thompson at an all-star game. Sure, in Baltimore. Yeah. It was an honor and a privilege.
Yeah, true Hall of Fame voice. No doubt about that. The golden tones.
No question.
I remember hearing him even as a kid, even though I didn't grow up in Baltimore, doing the Colts.
I used to get him all the way up in New Hampshire just to hear that voice.
Yeah. Man, who is this guy that only called football so very well? And baseball, too.
He could make a Parcheesi game sound enticing. It's the best. That's all we can say.
There's Harold Baines to lead off. Rather to hit second here in the fourth inning against Roger Clemens. So we start talking about Chuck Thompson and remembering all of his wonderful moments, and we forget an out. Baines check it. No, he did not, said home plate umpire Mike DeMuro, as Posada will take care of the tag on Baines. And there's that Roger Clemens split, huh, Mike?
There it is. You see the bottom fall out of it, just sort of roll up the arm of Posada. Right there, Harold waiting for the audible call from the home plate umpire. Right there, he hears it, breaks for first. Third strikeout for Clemens.
It's Cal Ripken now. Cal went out on the first pitch as he popped out to Clay Bellinger, but last night as he faced El Duque, you talk about hanging a line drive on a clothesline here.
We're talking a lot. Cal's bat speed of late has been nothing short of superb. Seemed like a Cal last year before, probably more prevalent, doing more arm swinging, more body into it, and this new stance that he's been into, just a lot more comfortable. You see the balance is much better. Really allows him to loosen up his hands and grip and really just throw the head of that bat through the strike zone.
Ooh, Cal got a piece of that front foot and that foul ball in the box.
Oh, that's going to leave a mark. Cal always has been sort of a front foot hitter. And that's what happens when you get out on that front foot.
See, right-handed hitters do it once in a while.
There you go.
We had that discussion a week or so back.
That's right.
There's the very loose hands, but busy hands from Cal Ripken as he fights off the Clemens cutter.
Of course, it's hard not to think back to the days of Lou Gehrig and the Yankees, and a tie between Cal and Gehrig forever. Again, there's those hands in the grip. No tension at all in that swing.
There's the plaque that honors the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, here in Monument Park in the Bronx.
Yep, it reads, a man, a gentleman, a great player whose amazing record of 2,130 consecutive games should stand for all time. And it did stand for 56 years.
1-2 pitch on the ground at Derek Jeter, who charges and makes that off-balance throw to get Ripken. We're through 3.5 in the Bronx. Yankees holding on for 1-0 lead.
Want the red-hot sports question of the week? We want your answers. You want the HTS Online Sports Poll. You want HTSonline.com.
All right, it's time to put you to work. Do a little thinking on this nice Saturday afternoon. Our Aflac trivia question. Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray. First and second, most home runs by a switch hitter in the history of Major League Baseball. Who ranks third? You always talk about the greatest switch hitters in the game, and a lot of people say Murray Mantle. Some people say Mantle Murray. But who's number 3 behind those two, at least in terms of career home runs by a switch hitter? As we look at the young man from Los Angeles, who I still think could go out and drop a couple flicks as a left-handed hitter down that left field line off a tough guy like Clemens, huh?
I'm sure he could.
The funny thing is, I don't see Eddie. He doesn't take a lot of BP. He doesn't get in the cage anymore and fool around. He hits ground balls to the infielders and fungos fly balls to the outfielders.
Actually, he does more throwing now than I do.
Does he?
Oh, he throws batting practice once in a while, so you know, I wouldn't mind getting in the box and hitting. I just don't want to pitch anymore.
Maybe we could arrange that. We'll come out
Let's
early.
do that.
BP.
We'll have Eddie throw to me one day.
Eddie
That
throw
would
to
be
you.
something.
Yeah. Early BP.
Yeah.
Crow would be fine with that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
We'll maybe do it in Arlington when
We
it's
could have
about 120 degrees at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
3 swings and I'll faint. They asked if I could throw BP anymore, and I said no. I said the reason being I threw BP the last 3 years I played.
You used it all up then.
Every last pitch, it's gone. And I'm sure that's the way Eddie feels about his career with the bat. I'm sure he's used up all the swings. They say you only get so many throws in your arm and so many swings at the plate.
Well, Pat Rapp out for inning number 4 now, and Bernie Williams started off the second inning with a line drive 2-base hit to the corner and right. And ultimately scored a couple of hitters later when Posada doubled over B.J. Surhoff's head, and that's all we've had offensively. In direct contrast to what went on here last night. On 5 pitches, Bernie Williams has a leadoff walk from Pat Rapp. All right, let's take a look at our IWIF injury report. A couple of key components, one for each ball club. The thrill, Will Clark, sprained hamstring, 15-day DL. Will with the ball club. Chuck Knobloch, talked to Chuck real briefly in the Yankees clubhouse today. They don't want him to try to take BP nor take infield right now. Just going to let him rest it entirely. Sprained wrist day to day. Trying to get back Monday, according to Joe Torre.
Which wrist is it?
Left wrist. A lead wrist as far as
I was thinking more about throwing.
Yeah. There's Tino Martinez looking at a called strike right now from Pat Rapp. We were talking about that last night. 25 and 100 home runs, runs driven in 4 straight years. It's lined over the glove of Jeff Conine and into the right field corner. Albert Bell will pick the baseball off the wall. Bernie Williams is held up by Willie Randolph and now had to scramble back to the bag after he took that big turn on the 2-base hit off the bat of Tino Martinez. Jeff Conine's holding on, Mike, with Bernie Williams. That ball was absolutely scorched. Conine jumps off that bag and could barely get the glove up.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, and this is a very difficult ballpark with all the white seats or white shirts in the stands on this day game. He hits it right through Conine. Just a rocket off the bat of Tino Martinez, and Bernie comes chugging around third with the intentions of scoring. Willie Randolph holds him up late, scrambles back into third.
There's Jorge Posada now. Yankees with a couple in scoring position. Williams and Martinez with nobody out. Mike Hargrove's going to play the infield back in the middle. Ripken a couple of strides behind the bag and far off it at third base. Of course, Conine deep at first. The Orioles do not want a big inning to start here in the 4th.
No, they would trade a run for an out. Posada's double in the second. First hit off Pat Rapp. He had been 0 for 8.
Rapp, who went 6 innings in each of his first 3 starts as a member of the Birds and racking up a couple of wins. Things have turned around on him though in his last 2 starts, as this is start number 6 on the year. Well, Mike, when you think about it, he's the first Oriole since Scotty Erickson back in '98 to start the year with 3 consecutive wins. So with Erickson down and having Mercedes and Maduro in the rotation, what a welcome addition he's been. He'll take a little bit off there, and he evens the count at Posada 2-2.
That cut fastball again. You see the hitter swinging over the top. When he keeps that down in the zone, very effective pitch.
Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez in scoring position here in the 4th. Rapp trying to hold this Yankee offense down. The 2-2 to Posada. Got him on a breaking ball under his hands. Big strikeout for Pat Rapp.
And you see Posada swing over the top of this breaking ball. That's the overhand curveball from Rapp. Posada expanding the zone, a little anxious. And now with 1 out, they'll take a gamble here with Spencer and play the infield in. Try to choke off another run.
A huge difference in the way the manager will approach a situation like this, Mike. No outs as opposed to 1, as we just see.
You're exactly right.
And Shane Spencer's been hot, so Pat Rapp, after making the excellent pitch, 2-strike breaking ball that got Posada, will try to get Spencer. He got him on a ground ball to Bordick back in the 2nd. Breaking ball in the air to fairly deep left center. It's easily going to score. Bernie Williams, look out. Surhoff and Amaral come together. BJ caught the baseball as Bernie Williams to the plate on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Shane Spencer. But Mike, big crowd here making a lot of noise, and Amaral and Surhoff not hearing one another.
They both signaled. So the ball not high enough where they could take their eye off it and check out the other player. See BJ checking the sun right there. Here's BJ. He's audibleizing, also signaling with the glove, but Amaral was doing the same thing. So they both have their hands up right there. BJ checking that sky. The sun has sort of come in and out today.
Williams to the plate on the sac fly from Shane Spencer, so you give him the RBI. And now that gets Scott Brosius to the plate. Tino Martinez also tagged and move over to third base. But now with 2 out here in the 4th. The 1-0 to Brosius. Missed that outside edge. 2-0 now on the Yanks third baseman who drew a walk back in the 2nd. Talked about Pat Rapp getting into the 6th inning or a little bit better in most of his Oriole starts. 2-1 now on Brosius. He's done a good job today, at least in preventing the big inning.
Yes, he has. Yankees just pecked away and gotten a couple. But this out right here is a real important out.
Count will leave 2-2 as Brosius fouls it right side. All is calm in the Yankee quarters. One funny thing, Mike, is a lot of folks saying, you know, they really haven't played around here Yankee type good baseball. I know, and yet they're 11 games over. A breaking ball that locked up Scott Brosius to end inning number 4. So Pat Rapp picks up his 5th K of the afternoon. He got 2 big ones after he had a couple aboard at 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Yanks get 1, lead it 2-0. This afternoon's contestant in our Pepsi Big Slam Home Run Derby inning here in the 5th is Lee McLam of Hillsboro, North Carolina. And a Tar Heel playing with us today. If a Baltimore player, Lee, hits a home run during today's Pepsi Big Slam inning, Lee, you could win a case of Pepsi and $100 to enter the Pepsi Big Slam Home Run Derby inning. Be like Lee McLam. Send a postcard to the address on your screen to register online. www.htsonline.com. Let's head to inning number 5 now as Jeff Conine looks at a called strike from Roger Clemens. Yankees lead it 2-0. O's trying to put an end somehow to this 3-game losing slide. You go back to last Sunday and the series-ending loss to the Texas Rangers. The O's have dropped 4 of the last 5. Winning in the first game of the series. This has popped up on the right side. Tino Martinez trying to gauge it near the tarp. He's got room to make the one-handed grab.
Let's take a look at Clemens' last pitch. He still has that pretty good arm drop. Watch right when he loads up on that back leg. Arm drops, full extension, gets it away from his body. Pretty good follow through. Had pretty good mechanics today.
Greg Myers' first pitch swinging. Towering fly ball to right center field. A lot of room for Paul O'Neill. Just a couple of pitches here, and Clemens has 2 down in the Orioles' 5th. Michael, we were talking about the Yankees not playing as good a baseball as they would like and being 11 games over. Our good buddy and former Oriole Kenny Singleton giving us he worked the game last night.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of chat about the Yankees he covers. Now Kenny's back home in Sparks today.
Oh yeah, took the train home this morning.
So hopefully Suzanne is not putting the nose to the grindstone on Kenny and making him mow the lawn or anything like
I'm
that.
sure he's got his feet up on the couch and probably
watching us, huh?
a golf club in hand,
So Singy, if you're out in the backyard, he said he'd somehow have a TV or 2 on.
Yeah, I
so
could have the barbecue going.
if he's working, come on in and watch the rest of this one. Now, we always enjoy seeing Kenny. He does a real nice job up here doing Yankee baseball with Jim Cott. However, he's got the weekend off. Now, where do we get in line to get something like that? I know one of your former teammates that you liked a great deal. You two guys pretty good buddies. Still stay in touch quite a bit.
Oh yeah, pleasure to be around.
The interesting thing about Kenny is Rich Amaral now in an 1-2 hole to Roger Clemens. You were saying, Mike, you wanted to be a broadcaster and did it the right way as he plied his career. Amaral will rip a shot inside. Brosius in the bag into the left field corner. It's a stand-up double for Richie Amaral as the Orioles keep this 5th inning alive with just their second base hit off Roger Clemens. So Amaral down to the count at 1-2 and came back to line the shot.
You see Richie just guides that ball down the third baseline. I think an off-speed pitch, probably a fork ball from Clemens. Not trying to do too much. It's around the plate, get the head of the bat to it. Third time today they've had a runner in scoring position against Clemens. First inning, second inning, and now here in the 5th.
The O's will get their hottest hitter to the plate right now, Delino DeShields. And Delino has been scorching. Hope you've been with us or out at the yard through the course of the homestand. And last night he's moved into the top 10 now in the American League in hitting. It's a pleasure to watch this young man play healthy, Mike. We didn't get a chance to see that last year very often. And, 3 trips to the DL, but we've seen what he can do as an offensive force. Now the 2-0 from Clemens. 3-0.
He's pitched to Delino very carefully. Walked Delino in the first. Got in on the hands of DeShields in the third when he flew out to right.
Turned him loose on the 3-0, and that's fair off the glove of Martinez and up the line and right. Amaral to the plate. DeShields the second. A stand-up double for Delino DeShields. So back-to-back 2-base knocks off Roger Clemens. Mike Hargrove green lighting Delino 3-0, down by a couple, and he continues to stay warm.
Well, basic fastball count, and certainly Delino DeShields has hit a lot of fastballs of late, so he gets the green light 3-0 and just skips it down the first baseline off the glove of Tino Martinez. And the Orioles are on the board now 2-1.
DeShields picking up Rich Emerald. Knows making something happen with 2 down here in the 5th inning to get on the board against Clemens for Delino. His RBI on the year, number 17. He's done a lot of run producing damage hitting out of that number 2 hole, and today the leadoff man. Quickly 0-2 on Bordick.
This is where he's tried to stay with Mike Bordick, that slider away from him.
The 0-2. Posada had to dig the split finger out of the dirt.
You have to have a lot of confidence in your catcher to block balls, especially when you throw a fork ball, because you usually want it to be down. Best way for catchers to get used to it. A lot of catchers will go up to go down to block the ball, just to sort of collapse on those fork balls, and they try not to catch it, but just to block it and keep it in front.
Got him swinging, and right back to the split finger to fan Mike Bordick. We're halfway home here in the Bronx. O's get 1, and DeShields RBI double and trailing 2-1. All right, O's fans, want to make sure you let the kids know that they could join the Orioles Dugout Club. Only $6. A terrific way for you to get up close and personal with your favorite baseball team, and you receive a members only t-shirt, membership card, the chance to purchase discounted game tickets, and a whole lot more. More information, call that number you see on your screen, or you can visit the Orioles website, and that, of course, is www.theorioles.com. Up here enjoying today, Delino DeShields getting the Orioles a little something on the board against Roger Clemens. Put the solo run on in the 5th. DeShields with the RBI double. Michael Regai, Mike Flanagan here in the Bronx, as Pat Rapp has worked his way out of danger, Mike, a couple of times today, and not, as we said, not allowed the Yankees to come up with multi-run innings.
He's really had the strikeout pitch working for him today. 5 on the afternoon for Rapp.
He faces the number 9 hitter, Clay Bellinger. Bellinger at second base today to lead it off for the Yanks. I mentioned the O's have lost 3 in a row and 4 of the last 5. The Yankees have won 5 straight. 9-3 here at home. They won the final game of their series against Toronto that swept the Cleveland Indians, and of course the 12-10 win last night over the Birds. Raps 2-0. There's that cutter. Well, Mike, let's take a look at the mechanics of Pat Rapp. We talked about him being sometimes upright that gets him in trouble.
Yeah, he tries to keep that head back, really back behind his right leg to keep that balance and follow through on the end, drive that ball down in the zone.
Just popped up behind the plate. Greg Myers will toss that mask. Coming back near the screen to put the squeeze on it. No, Bellinger gone. Well, the O's dropping 3 in a row, and the Yankees winning 5 in a row. Red Sox won last night, and they've got Pedro Martinez going today. Red Sox record what the Orioles was until this 3-game losing slide. So Yanks by 3 over Boston, by 4.5 over the O's, and Toronto now a game over 500. And the Blue Jays now at 16-15. Red Sox, by the way, at home against Tampa today. Pedro Martinez looking to go to 6-0. They're scoreless in inning number 6. And Toronto and Cleveland are going at it up at Skydome, and the Indians have lost 6 in a row, and they've got a 5-3 lead, and that's Jarrett Wright in the mound. Young man trying to get himself back to where he was for Cleveland a couple of years ago after a rugged 99. Ricky Leday fouling it off against Pat Rapp. I think the American League East, so Mike, this year is going to be a lot of fun, wire to wire. I really think that you're going to have 4 ball clubs, the Orioles, of course, Toronto and Boston, that are going to pressurize the Yankees and make the race interesting for fans.
I think no question about it. The Yankees may be coming back a little bit to the pack. Certainly not showing that early on. Their 19-8 start. Won 5 straight. They played real well on the road. The Yankees have 10-5.
Nice spot for it, huh? On the outside corner from Pat Rapp. Even the count at 2-2 on Ricky Leday.
This one, Pat Rapp is right. He can spot that cut fastball. You see a nice frame job by Greg Myers behind the plate.
Breaking ball. Bounced at Mike Bordick. They'll throw out Ricky Leday. A couple of quick ones for Pat Rapp here in the Yankees 5th. Our Injured Workers Insurance Fund is Maryland's heavy hitter in workers' compensation insurance, serving 1 of 5 Maryland employers. Now today they have more clout than ever before, nearly $1 billion in assets. IWIF continues to be Maryland's first choice in workers' compensation insurance. There's Derek Jeter now, with the bases empty and 2 down here in the 5th. Jeter's fan and flied out to Richie Amaral in right center. Jeter going to the gap in right center field last time, Mike, and as we said, when he came up, and look where Rich Amaral is, that is almost like you would play a strict left-handed pull hitter.
That's his power area, power zone. Really can drive the ball a long way to right center field, especially out of an inside out sort of stroke. Leads with his hands. And again, you can see Amaral a good 10 feet to the first base side of center field, of dead centro. And deep. You see the 408 sign right behind Amaral.
See Rapp trying to stay right there with that 2-seam fastball, the outside corner, that is, against Derek Jeter.
They've really kept Jeter guessing the whole series, because last night they stayed in on his hands almost exclusively, and today they try to go back away from Derek Jeter and come back in to try to finish him off. Last year led the American League in hits with 219. The year before he had 203 base hits, so they've done a nice job of keeping Jeter quiet in this series. And last time up, flew out the center field. First time he's had the ball out of the infield.
Rapp going to 3 consecutive fastballs, tripling up against Derek Jeter. Pat Rapp last year for Boston, 6 and 7, and back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen. But his biggest year with Charles Johnson, member of Jimmy Leland's Florida Marlins back in 1995, was a 14-game winner in the National League East. 2-2 to Jeter.
Jeter now just 2 for his last 17. So a little mini slump for Derek.
You talked about the base hits, Mike. Last year 349, 98, 324. Right now at 284 for Derek Jeter. Again, bounce foul.
I remember when 284 used to be considered pretty good.
You could be an MVP candidate. You better be in that.
Well, didn't Ted Williams
area.
Carl Yastrzemski lead the league in hitting one year at 301?
Yes.
That'd be good for about 400th place today.
Rapp and Jeter are locked in a duel here in inning number 5. Pat Rapp has been very good today. That's exactly what the Orioles needed out of their starter today after the last few days when had to go deep in the bullpen.
It's really given them a decent 5-6 innings every time out.
Breaking ball, line drive by Delano to Shields, base hit center field. Derek Jeter kept fighting off the two-seam fastballs in, away, and lined the base hit by DeShields, 2-out single.
And it's the location. The Orioles have pitched Jeter extremely well, trying to stay below his hands and down, and this one is above, and you can see that inside-out stroke, really leading with those hands. First base hit of the series for Jeter.
There's Paul O'Neill now with Jeter aboard. Well, Rapp wants to get O'Neill not only to end this 5th inning so you can have Bernie Williams leading off an inning, but not have to face him with a couple aboard potentially.
O'Neill with that familiar braided bat. You can check out the handle of Paul O'Neill's bat. He has an interesting sort of a weave to it. Spends a long time finding his game bat and then running that sort of embroidery down the handle.
Well, Mike, back to Pat Rapp. We were talking about 1995 when he won the 14 games for Florida. He matched Greg Maddux win for win in the second half of the season that year, and going 11-2 with an ERA of 2.28. Now that's just 5 years ago now. Can you imagine a guy going a series of maybe 17, 18 starts and pitching to a 2.28 today?
Yeah, he was locked in.
Put a guy like that directly into the Hall of Fame if he's able to do that.
Oh yeah, but he won his last 9 straight decisions, a personal and certainly a Marlins club record.
And again, though, Mike, we're only talking about 1995. It's only 5 years ago. So what in the world has happened? We started this conversation the other night about pitching.
I liked it 2 years ago. Well, the year he went 12-13 with the Royals. He's a victim of poor run support. They said he should have won 16 or 17 games. And the 12 wins that year with Kansas City, the Royals scored 78 runs in his 12 wins, about 6.5, and only 34 runs in his 13 losses, about 2.5 runs. So it hasn't. You're right. It's in that right arm. It's just a question sometimes with his delivery gets a little out of whack. It's a fine line with Pat Rapp, and so far his delivery's held up.
Jeter's going 2-2 pitches fouled off. By the way, just to clarify, when I said I wasn't talking specifically about Pat Rapp, I was more meaning like when they say what in the world's going on about, you know, that was a terrific stint he went through. I just can't imagine any pitcher doing that today, the way the ball is flying out of the yard, and we're getting 17 last night in Texas. 17-16. Texas beats who was it down there last night against them? It wasn't Tampa. Oakland.
Right.
17-16, 12-10 here, 11-10 in Toronto. Home runs flying all over the place. Again, Jeter goes 2-2 pitch, grounded at the line of the Shields. They'll flip out O'Neill, inning over. So we'll continue our conversation in a moment. We're through 5, 2-1 New York. As we head to inning number 6, let's take a look at our Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield League leaders. Runs per game. American League. The Orioles averaging better than 6 runs per game. You saw those Chicago White Sox. They are up near 7 per. They're on top of the pack. As you see, the top 6 in the American League. Mike, you like to think if you're going to average 6 runs per game over the course of the year that when the leaves start to fall in September, the Orioles will be right where they want to be.
But I think it's you know, how many are you giving up?
Yes.
It's in direct relationship to those numbers.
As we said, the Orioles in averaging those 6 runs per game, but now last night added to it. How many times have the Orioles lost when scoring 6 runs or more this year?
I think they're 6-11 when they score 6 or more runs. Not a very conducive number, I guess. If you score over 6 in a game, you figure you got a pretty good night.
The Orioles giving up almost 6 per game. The team ERA at 5.70 coming into today. But Pat Rapp has certainly settled that down here this afternoon as he's held the Yankees to just 2. Roger Clemens to face B.J. Surhoff. This is popped up into short right center for Clay Bellinger. And Surhoff down to start off the Orioles half of the 6th. Seattle Mariners coming to the yard, those fans. That means Alex Rodriguez and, of course, Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, and all of Lou Pinella's guys. 3-game series, May 23rd through the 25th. Good seats still remain for all 3. You can get your tickets by calling the number you see on your screen, or you can do it on the Orioles website that you also can visit to get your Orioles tickets.
Going back to those numbers, there's 7 teams in the American League that have ERAs over 5. Team ERAs. In the National League, there are 6 teams with ERAs over 5 runs per game.
Albert Bell with a line drive that's fair by the outstretched glove of Scott Brosius into the left field corner. Albert Bell with a 2-base hit off Roger Clemens. And he got a pitch that he could turn on, and he yanked it by Brosius for the 1-out double.
Well, they have 4 hits off of Clemens, and 3 of them are doubles. Only Mike Bordick has the other hit, a single. Clemens has walked a couple today. A forkball may hanging in the middle of the plate. So with 1 out, they have another man in scoring position. The tying run, so a pretty important at bat here for Harold Baines.
It's the 8th 2-base hit of the year for Albert. The line of the Shields with club leadership. With 10 doubles for the Birds. So the O's now a base hit away from getting even here against Clemens. Harold's walked and fanned today, so he's 0 for 1 officially. Clemens going to the heat and evening the count at 1-1 on Baines.
Posada sits away, ends up over the middle. Rogers still with a pretty good fastball.
Ground ball to third baseman Scott Brosius. He'll throw out Baines. Bell trying to come to third, and he beat that return throw from Tino Martinez. Albert Bell with Brosius ranging far off the bag to his left. He tested Tino Martinez. Jeter got back to cover the bag, and Albert just beat Martinez's return throw.
I think Albert viewed how far Brosius with Baines at the plate off third base. A very chancy play by Albert Bell. So you see that throw goes towards the first. So with 2 outs, he gets over to third base, just barely beating the throw. Albert does represent the tying run.
Now Cal Ripken now against Roger Clemens. Ground ball to the hole. Jeter's going to backhand. He'll throw out Ripken. Birds leave 1 just 90 feet away as Roger Clemens gets Baines and Ripken. Through 5.5, 2-1 Yankees.
Want to see the highlight of the week? You want the HTS Online Play of the Week presented by Bell Atlantic. You want HTSonline.com.
We hope you have had your thinking caps on throughout the course of this Saturday afternoon. It's kind of a tough one today. Our Aflac trivia question. Mickey Mantle, Eddie Murray, first and second in most home runs by a switch hitter. But who ranks number 3? So someone maybe that doesn't get talked about in the same rarefied air as Mantle and Murray. Now, I'm going to be honest. I thought it might be Reggie Smith, the former L.A. Dodger and Boston Red Sox.
Chili Davis, that's my guess.
Yeah, but I'm thinking you're right. Oh. Chili Davis with 350. A long way, though, back of Mantle and Murray's plus 500s. And the Mick end, 536 we saw there, and Ed at 504.
And he ended up, I guess, with the most RBIs ever by a switch hitter.
All right. Here's Bernie Williams to lead it off. Fly ball, right center field. A lot of room for Richie Amaral. Well, Bernie Williams, for the first time today and seemingly for the first time in this series, kept off the base pass. They have 3 knocks last night.
3 for 5 last night.
All right, this Scott Barretta telecast presented by authority of the Baltimore Orioles and CBS Cable may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles and CBS Cable. Mike Hargrove with Jeff Newman on his right, his bench coach, Sammy Ellis. There's a gentleman on Mike Hargrove's left as they watched Pat Rapp spin a good one at the New York Yankees today.
And talking to Sammy Ellis, he said his sideline preparation for this start, he said he was as good as he can be. So I know Sammy Ellis confident about Rapp's performance today.
Tino Martinez on a big hop at Jeff Conine. 2 quick ones for Pat Rapp here in the 6th. Now Rapp has only surrendered 4 base hits. He gave up the run in the 2nd when Williams and Posada doubled. A couple of hitters apart. And then after the situation, we had 2nd and 3rd and nobody out in the 4th. He fanned Posada, gave up a sac fly to Spencer, and then fanned Brosius to end the inning.
He's pitched extremely well. Something Sammy Ellis has worked with Pat Rapp. Rapp falls into the category of a drifter. He sort of drifts down the mound at times. And when that happens, the ball comes up in the zone. But today you can see finishing, following through much better than he did his last time out.
Mike, when you say a drifter, is that more saying that maybe losing mechanics, or is it also a mental focus as far as preparation?
Well, he can feel it, and certainly Pat Rapp knows when he's doing it, and because usually the result is the ball is up in the zone, and that's what Sammy Ellis would tell Rapp. Look, you threw it up in the zone. The reason is that your head is sliding down the hill, sort of carrying the ball down the hill. You need to load up on that back leg, keep your head back, and then finish all in one motion.
It's 2-0 now to Jorge Posada.
And he has a little bit of drift too. If you just watch Rapp's head right there when he lifts his leg, he sort of drifts down the mound. So it's a fine line, getting underneath the ball and having it go up in the zone. And the way you sort of correct that, you try to keep him back over the rubber as long as you can go. Keep his head back as long as he can before he explodes forward.
Posada on the 2-1 pitch, rolled at Delino to Shields. Pat Rapp, smooth and easy ride through the Yankees 6th. So we head to the 7th. Orioles down by 1. Hey, let's take a look back 16 years ago today on this May 6th. Down in Arlington, Texas, the familiar stance of Cal Ripken at the plate. Mike completing the cycle here against the Rangers.
Yep, the Rangers and Dave Tobick. Mike Baudiger got the win that day, and Frank Tanana the loser back in 1984.
Now as Cal Ripken toured the bases that day, May 6th, that's Lowe's nose today in Orioles history fact. Of course, Brooks Robinson, the only other Oriole to hit for the cycle, as Cal Ripken joins now what's proved to be one of his colleagues at the hot corner. Didn't come up that way, didn't start that way, but it's obviously the way that Cal Ripken's career, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, who knows, but it will end as a third baseman in Orioles annals, at least for the latter part of it, with Brooks Robinson. And Jeff Conine trying to check on that high heat from Roger Clemens. Conine starting out inning number 7, 7, 8, and 9 for the Orioles. Conine, Greg Myers, Rich Amaral. Scheduled against the Rocket as Clemens has been as tough as Pat Rapp today. Pitchers taking center stage in this 2-1 Yankees lead as we hit the 7th. A win today for Roger Clemens would be number 250 in his sparkling big league career. He's had like a season's worth in his career against the Orioles. 16-10 coming into today.
He's had sort of the sleeper hold on the Oriole offense. He really hasn't dominated the offense. He certainly had some pretty good at bats at a few men in scoring position. Ball takes off here from Clemens. He has not had a 10 strikeout performance this year. He has done that 94 times in his career.
Got a piece of Posada's gear. 2-2 on Conine.
Last time Clemens struck out at 10 was just about a year ago.
Fly ball center field and deep. Bernie Williams back on the track, but he's got room to reach up and haul it in. Jeff Conine gave it a ride to the deepest part of the yard here at Yankee Stadium. Williams got back on the track to haul it in.
And Williams plays a very shallow center field, but he just goes back so well. Conine hits this ball pretty good. Long run for Williams, tracking it all the way.
We'll get Greg Myers to the plate now. Looking for his first base hit against Roger Clemens, who works the outside corner with his fastball. Like I tell you, we saw Clemens last year, twice in his first year in pinstripes, and wasn't sharp either time against the Orioles. Granted, one was the last week of the season,
right,
where he was trying to tune up for the playoffs.
There was one early in the year when
Myers.
You and Jim did.
Yeah,
you've seen it against Clemens. A lot of unearned runs on both sides in that game. Pretty ugly game.
But finish that off. He looks much more, at least somewhere between that and where he was, as we mentioned, those 2 years in Toronto, where it was almost like he reinvented himself.
Sure did.
After struggling in Boston, right?
Yep. Last, I think, year or so in Boston, under 500 as a pitcher. After Toronto jump-started his career, first time he won 20 back-to-back years for the Blue Jays. Last time out, pitched real well against the Blue Jays, his former club, won 7-1, pitched 7 in that inning, in that game. Just one earned run.
3-2 to Myers. Bounce to Tino Martinez, who's going to handle it himself for out number 2 here in the 7th. Well, we have a hard-working crew here in Yankee Stadium that always takes good care of us. And we come in to do Orioles baseball, and Jimmy Dos Santos wants to say hi to his people back in Catonsville. Bob Potts. Bob, hope you're watching. Yeah, Jimmy's saying hey to you. And to all of his buddies that are Oriole fans around the state of Maryland. So see, there are some guys that have friends and family and root for the Birds, even up here in the Bronx. A lot of the Orioles' wives and family members on the trips up here. And I think, Mike, though, most of the time they're strolling Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue and spending all the guys' money, don't you think?
What do you think?
Rather than being here at the yard.
Oh. Pretty good crowd here today. Yankee Stadium.
Just about capacity. And as is their custom, when one of their starters gets a 2-strike count on opposition hitter, they let him hear it. 1-2 on Rich Amaral. Richie doubled, and it was a big 2-base hit in the 5th. With 2 down, he laced it by Scott Brosius into the left field corner. And when Delino DeShields doubled following him, and got the Orioles on the board as we look at Mike Stanton, who we saw last night for Joe Torre. 1-2 to Amaral. Fought it off. Look, I bet one thing you haven't done, and lately neither have I, is sit in the stands and watch a game at a lot of big league ballparks. I wouldn't imagine you have.
I used to like to go out early, very
Would
early
you?
in the day, and go sit up in the stands and to get some of the different perspectives. You know what it's like from Fenway Park at center field. I like to get to the ballpark when there's nobody in it. It's just a very peaceful place, and just imagine what it's like in a couple of hours when all the people flood in like they do at Camden Yards, and certainly today here at Yankee Stadium.
When we're in Fenway on getaway day, what I always do when we, it's about an hour before I always
Right.
go out and sit out in that right field area by Ted Williams' chair,
Williamsburg,
and just vision the game of baseball as it must have been played. As Amaral is fanned by Roger Clemens. And that'll end inning number 7. So stretch it out if you like. We're through 6.5. Clemens racks up Amaral. Yankees lead it 2-1. All right, those fans, Bowie Bay Sox. More than just a game, a chance for you to take a look at baseball, the Orioles organization, and you can make your plans to go out and see the Bowie Bay Sox. They're going to play a full season of minor league baseball. Some of the future stars are going to be on display that wear Orioles uniforms. And for information, call that number you see on your screen. It's a look to the future of Orioles baseball in Bowie. The Harlem River, obviously, well, not right now churning up the waves, but anyway, maybe they're trying to take a peek and hear what's going on inside the stadium, Mike.
I think it's that new ballpark in San Francisco, I guess.
Oh, here's Shane Spencer, the DH, will lead it off. Spencer, the number 7 hitter, Scott Brosius, and then Clay Bellinger against Pat Rapp. Fly ball right field. Room for Albert Bell. Put it away. So Spencer is out. Well, Pat Rapp, since Tino Martinez doubled Mike in the 4th after the walk to Bernie Williams, Pat Rapp has given up just 1 base hit. And that was the Derek Jeter with 2 outs back in the 5th.
He's done a terrific job, simply with the top of the order, the table setters, Leday and Jeter and O'Neill, collectively 1 for 9. So Pat, the Rapp, day game after night game, a pretty tough loss for the Oriole team, and certainly the bullpen giving a terrific effort here today.
There's Scott Brosius now, right-handed hitting third baseman. Brosius walked and fanned today against Rapp. Brings out that nasty slider to even the count at 1-1.
Rapp again, we just talked, when he gets the ball down, his stuff is nothing but quality. Late breaking slider right to the glove of Greg Myers.
Rapp's ahead of Brosius at 1-2.
They say Rapp ball moves and cuts so much, he's difficult to play catch with. But again, in the past, he's been a little bit difficult to harness that delivery. But today he's very relaxed, nice easy finish. Certainly has pitched well enough to win today.
Now the 1-2 from Rapp to Brosius. Fly ball left field. Surhoff with room. Brosius down, and the fly ball to B.J. Surhoff. 2 fly ball outs for Pat Rapp. Official Orioles MasterCard. O's fans, 1 baseball card every O's fan should have. The no annual fee card is available right now by calling 1-888-3332-HIT. You can get your Orioles MasterCard today. The number 9 man, Clay Bellinger now. And this one in direct contrast to the offensive artillery we saw come out from both sides last night. Been dominated by Rapp and Clemens. First pitch swinging Bellinger popped it up in the middle of the diamond. Delino to Shields. Let's go to the 8th. Orioles will try to swing the bats against Clemens. Birds down 2-1 to the Yankees.
WB50's coverage of Baltimore Orioles baseball is brought to you by your nearby Jeep dealer and by Mountain Dew, who reminds you to do the do.
right, we want to say congratulations to Patrick Clue, who entered at Mr. Tire in Ellicott City and is this afternoon's winner in the Mile 1 Now You Drive sweepstakes. Patrick, you've just won free hotel accommodations for 4 days and 3 nights and a free auto safety inspection. Enter at any Mile 1 location, the new name for 30 dealerships and 25 auto service centers, or by mailing the postcard to that address you see on your screen. 2-1 Yankees over the O's here in the top of the 8th, and that is going to be a day's work for Roger Clemens. Mike, as we see, Clemens 94 pitches is certainly not a high pitch count. Only gave up 4 hits and a 1 run and fanned 5, but he's going to turn it over here to Mike Stanton to begin the 8th.
Yeah, but he will be the first pitcher to come on, certainly try to protect that lead for Roger Clemens and his 250th career win. So Mike Stanton, who worked in last night's game, will make his 17th appearance. That is a club leading 17th appearance. Fastball, slider, straight changeup. Once a pretty good power pitcher, now more about control and being dominating against left-handed hitters.
Mike Stanton to face Delino to Shields. Here to lead it off. Delino hitting out of the leadoff spot today. Mike Hargrove for the first time this year. So we'll see if the Orioles are able to put a chink in the armor of the Yankees bullpen. Got a couple off it last night. Were successful against Grimsley and Stanton. But the bottom line, while the offense was successful, the complete day's work for the O's not there as they gave up the lead in the 9th inning. So we'll see if this afternoon's any different. Breaking ball from Stanton as DeShields showed bunt. Delino another base hit today. He's been aboard twice. He doubled. Has driven in the Orioles' only run on the afternoon. That was back in the 5th. Has to drag his way on. Bellinger on one hop. Beautiful bunt base hit. Delino DeShields. Bellinger tried to play that with all that English with a bare hand.
Well, you can see Delino DeShields just flying down that first baseline. And it's taking forever, recognizing slow for this ball that's popped into the air to get there. Watch DeShields how quickly he gets out of the box, and right there, Bellinger senses the pressure, and it's that in-between hop right there. He can see DeShields, and it sort of rolls up his arm. But I think he would have beat that anyway if he scored an error.
Tough official score here, huh? I agree with you, Mike.
But it was the speed of DeShields that created that error.
I don't think Bellinger would have been able to grab with that bare hand, have to make an underhanded flip to get Delino.
The error he may have made was really not trying to catch the ball in the air. Get in, make a dive for it with that great speed exhibited by DeShields.
Here's Mike Bordick to face the left-hander Stanton. Yankees up about a step and a half with Jeter and Bellinger. See if Mike Hargrove is thinking about having Bordick sacrifice down by 1 here in inning number 8. 2 years ago, last year he
penciled it in. Sure,
it was a given. And there's the setup. And the Yankees on the interior of their defense. Gross is even with that bag at third. Bordick does not show bunt as Stanton misses away.
Still taking a long look down at Sam Perlazzo, the third base coach. A lot of speed on it first. Still a possibility of a hit and run.
2-0.
You want to put the pressure on Stanton here too. The Shields at first, a lot of foot speed. Not quite sure what the Orioles are doing. He has to spend some of that concentration holding DeShields.
Big right-hander, of course, is Jeff Nelson.
Got the win last night.
2-1 now on Mike Bordick. Stanton found the knees on the outside edge.
Of course, Bordick just a .400 hitter against left-handers last year. So another reason that Mike Hargrove not thinking bunt in this situation.
Right around the 300 mark against lefties this year. Look at Mike Hargrove. managerial wheels are going to really start turning now from here on in. A one-run game, late innings. Two-one to Bordick. Chased it out of the zone on a Stanton fastball.
Stanton gets his pitch in a pretty good spot. Not really where it was intended. Was trying to come in on Bordick, but watch Posada grab at it away.
We're all set for a 2-2. Breaking ball is popped up. Tino Martinez. Squeeze it. And the first out here in the 8th. Now let's take a look at what we have for you on the television side. Our Chrysler Plymouth upcoming games will stay on the Orioles television network here in the Bronx tomorrow. Sidney Ponson and Ramiro Mendoza at 1 o'clock. Then it's up to Toronto, and we go over to HTS, the cable home of the Birds, 7 o'clock both nights, Monday and Tuesday. And Orioles report will go, of course, at 6:30, and it should be Jason Johnson on Monday night and Mike Messina on Tuesday night. And Scott Erickson coming back on Wednesday to finish off the series in the road trip. There's B.J. Surhoff now against the lefty Mike Stanton, who's on the outside corner with a fastball to get ahead. B.J.'s looking for his first hit today. He's 0 for 3 against Clemens. Now facing Stanton. I think at some point we might see the Shields on the go here with Surhoff at the plate.
He's really been trying to guess with Stanton. What he tries to do against left-handers is to get a shorter than normal lead and get a walking lead and just try to guess with Stanton when he's going home or coming over. So not really daring Stanton to throw over.
0-1 pitch on the ground at Bellinger to Jeter for 1. Double play. Yankees turned it over. A 4-6-3 double play. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Yanks still lead it 2-1. We head to the bottom of the 8th now. Yankees still holding this 2-1 lead as the ball club has scored since the O's got 1 in the 5th. Roger Clemens sharp today, Mike. He worked 7 and fanned 5 in his day's outing.
Yeah, real good stuff, and certainly sort of lulled the Oriole offense to sleep. And Pat Rapp, who has pitched right along with the future Hall of Famer. Pat Rapp, just outstanding stuff all afternoon long, and he is still in the game. But you see through 7, numbers just about identical, just a 1 less run off of Roger Clemens.
Well, that our nationwide game summary is Rapp and Clemens have matched pitches. Ricky Leday, a bouncing ball at Cal Ripken. He'll throw out the Yankees leadoff man here in the bottom of the 8th. Pat Rapp has been simply superb today as he continues to go get the Yankees. A nationwide game summary again. Rapp and Clemens. You can add a third to that now for Pat Rapp as he just got Leday here to start the 8th. And Delino DeShields has had the big series swinging the bat for the O's, who are going to need some offense in the 9th inning. More than likely against Mariano Rivera. But first things first, Pat Rapp trying to keep the Yanks off the board, and he's already got Leday here in the 8th. Derek Jeter to the plate now. Jeter had a base hit his last time. Lined a single to center. Driven to deep right center. Long run, Bell and Amaral. Neither one going to get there. Extra bases for Jeter. And that is where we talked about the Derek Jeter power. A lot of it to dead center and right center field as he went inside out on Rapp.
That's how Derek Jeter certainly hits and gets his hits, inside out in the ball. The one spot that sort of defeats that approach is down and in. We'll see where this pitch ends up. It ends up and out over the plate. See how he leads with his hands. Even though the ball is on the inside part of the plate, he drives it a long way to the alley. It appears that Jeter's starting to heat up.
And speaking of heating up, that's the given, of course. 1-run lead to protect for the Yankees and Mariano Rivera. will get up. Saved all 3 in Jacobs Field against the Indians in their sweep of the Tribe.
He is sort of that invisible fastball.
And Paul O'Neill now with Jeter aboard. O'Neill today 0 for 3. Raps contained him. Been a case on the road this year, Mike. The Orioles have just not been able to put the pitching and hitting together.
You try to get in sync. That when your pitching's not carrying you, you're getting a lot of offense, and then when the pitching gets on a roll, you can hold up the runs that your offense gives it. Calvin Maduro and Chuck McElroy.
See Rapp trying to backdoor that outside edge on O'Neill. Yeah, we talked about the Orioles averaging almost 6 runs a game, better than 6 runs a game. But the ironic thing is, in games where they've gotten the strong starting pitching, holding the opposition to maybe 2-3 runs, that's the day that the Orioles bats have fallen silent.
It seemed early on that was what was happening in Mike Mussina's starts.
Yes. Rapp has slowed his pitching pace as he works on Paul O'Neill. Rapp's gotten him 3 times today. I'd like to make it 4. The 2-1 to O'Neill. 3-1.
Well, we'll see how manager Mike Hargrove plays this. We know that Bernie Williams on deck has terrific numbers. It's had a pretty good day. Probably the best day of any Yankee hitter versus Pat Rapp.
You want to try to turn him around maybe to the right side.
This is which way Mike Hargrove certainly prefers to face Bernie Williams.
Big pitch here. 3-1 to O'Neill. And he missed. Put a couple aboard now. Bernie Williams, and it'll be Sammy Ellis on the way out to Pat Rapp, and Sammy Ellis does not make pitching changes.
Well, I'm sure this is going to be going out to be very careful, certainly with Bernie Williams, but I think certainly Mike Hargrove likes the way that Pat Rapp is going, would like to give him a chance to finish this inning. The first New York native ever to manage the New York Yankees, looking on for counter moves. Of course, he has his ace closer up, ready to go.
Well, the conversation going to break up on the mound.
Another one of those conversations of don't give Bernie Williams anything to hit, but don't walk him.
Yeah.
Very tough situation. Facing a hitter that's had a lot of success against you. On a day when you pitched certainly well enough to win.
Bernie Williams today doubled and scored a run in the second, walked and scored a run in the fourth. So he scored both the Yankees runs. Rapp got him on a fly ball to Rich Amaral his last time. 2 aboard with 1 down here in the Yankees' 8th. And Pat Rapp trying to get through the heart of this Yankee lineup without any more damage. He's held them to just 2 runs. 1-0 to Williams. 2-0.
Now trying to be very careful. Trying to stay away from Bernie Williams.
2-0 pitch ripped at Conine. He'll go to Bordick. There's one. And Pat Rapp did not get over to the bag. And they had a chance possibly to double up Bernie Williams, but Pat Rapp did not break until it was too late. Conine was in no position to try to get to the bag.
Well, he just hits a bullet off this cut fastball off of Conine's chest. And you see Bordick has his time. He's waiting, and there's nobody coming into the picture at first base. After Conine's throw, he remains deep off the first base side. You see right here, Bordick's just looking for someone to come, and no one does. I'm not saying they would have turned 2 with the speedy Williams getting out of the box, especially from the left side. Really, Bordick had the ball very early.
Well, runners on the corners now with 2 down. Pat Rapp an opportunity to avoid danger here if he can get Tino Martinez. Jeter at third, Bernie Williams at first. 1-1 now on Tino Martinez, who has doubled this afternoon in 3 trips. Rapp's also fanned him and got him on a bounce out to Conine. So Rapp 1 out away from getting the O's into the dugout, down by just 1 to start the 9th. The 1-1 coming to Tino Martinez. 2-1. We're told up in Fenway Park in Boston that Steve Traxel is out dueling Pedro Martinez right now. They are in the 8th. Boston on top, trailing to Tampa Bay 1-0. Traxel's only allowed 3 hits. 2-1 coming to Tino Martinez. 3-1. Jorge Posada is next, the switch hitting catcher. Mike saying the same thing applies. There wasn't a visit, but hey, don't give Martinez anything good to hit either, but don't walk him.
That's the way it works.
Another big pitch for Rapp. 3-1 to Tino Martinez. This is sliced to the corner and left. Long run. Surhoff. He can't get there. 1 hop and up into the seats for the automatic 2-base hit. Well, Pat Rapp maybe just 1 pitch away from taking the O's to the dugout down 1, but Tino Martinez, that ball slicing away from B.J. Surhoff, who was on that dead sprint into the left field corner. The RBI double for Tino Martinez. 3-1 Yankees.
Well, B.J. Surhoff certainly knows the importance of this out, or this attempted out. Tino getting off that left-handed bat, the ball was sliced towards the line. And as they say, B.J. Surhoff gives us the old college try on the Cats insurance run. Doing everything he's got and just does not have enough to get to it.
And now Mike Hargrove and the O's deciding to go ahead and load the bases by putting Jorge Posada on. Watch out. Well, that obviously slipped out of the hand of Pat Rapp, because it almost got over the head of Greg Myers.
Actually, some pitchers are not very good at this intentional walk. They're so tuned to throwing everything hard. In this situation, you're throwing not to the glove, but just sort of lobbing it in. And again, it's not as easy as it looks. Spend your career trying to throw as hard as you can to get the most out of your delivery, and then you have this lob sort of throw. I always thought this would speed up the game if you just would say, Posada, go to first base.
It would, no question about that. And I think what we saw on Rapp's first delivery is why maybe some baseball purists say no, make him deliver 4 in case he can't locate the catcher. And that's going to be it now for Pat Rapp, as Mike Hargrove's on his way out with Shane Spencer, the DH, scheduled now. Well, the base is loaded. Mike Hargrove is going to go to the right-hander, Calvin Maduro. We will tell you about young Mr. Maduro after our Bell Atlantic call to the pen. We'll be right back to the Bronx.
Mile One wants you to have a fun and safe vacation this summer. So enter to win a free weekend getaway to any one of over 35 vacation destinations and a free auto safety inspection on us. The Mile One Now You Drive Sweepstakes. Register to win at any Mile One location. The new name for 30 dealerships and 25 auto service centers. A winner will be selected during every Orioles game on broadcast TV. So enter, watch, and win the Mile One Now You Drive Sweepstakes.
Chasing the slicing drive off the bat of Tino Martinez. B.J. Surhoff going to be in the layout mode here to no avail.
You can't give a better effort than certainly B.J. Surhoff gave on that double by Tino Martinez. Again, knowing the importance of the third out in this inning, trying to get back in and then get after Rivera in the ninth. And with that, Calvin Maduro's on to make his 10th appearance for the Orioles. Elevated ERA, but he's pitched much better out of the bullpen of late. Certainly last time out against the Angels, a terrific outing for Calvin. He said he's starting to adjust to it, the warm-ups and life in the bullpen, and he likes it. He said, you know, for one time around, I can let it fly, and that's what he did against the Angels.
You spent some time in the hotel lobby with young Calvin today and Buddy Groom, as a lot of the O's pitchers were, as they do with Sammy Ellis, but good to have the former pitching coach on the staff as well to get a little counsel.
A lot of bruised egos after last night's game. Looking for a sympathetic ear.
With the bases loaded, Shane Spencer, Williams, Martinez, and Posada aboard. Maduro needs to get Spencer to keep it close, and he should get him. In the air to center field for Richie Amaral. Let's go to the ninth as Amaral will squeeze. Yankees get one. It's Mariano Rivera time. Can the Birds bats get after him? We'll find out next. O's fans, make your plans to be at the Yard Sunday, May 28th. That's 3 weeks from tomorrow for Harold Baines Poster Day. All fans attending the 135 O's A's game will receive a free Harold Baines poster courtesy of French Bray Printers. So get your tickets by calling the number you see on your screen or online on the Orioles website. Time to head to the ninth inning here in the Bronx. Orioles down 2 now to the New York Yankees at 3-1. And Mike, as is the norm here in the Yankee side, when games are tight, you see Mariano Rivera in close situations.
You can already see he has 10 saves on the year just into early May, and he is at the end of the long line of pitchers in that Yankee bullpen. Have just done got off to a magnificent start. The bullpen on the year 9-0 with a microscopic ERA, and Mariano Rivera on the end of it anchors it. He's the 1999 most valuable player of the World Series. I think he's always done so well as retire the first hitter. We went through a string over the last couple of years where it wasn't until in Boston late in the year where he walked the leadoff batter in the inning for the first time in over 81 appearances. So he comes out, he throws strikes, he has what they call an invisible fastball. You don't see it, you can't pick it up. He has a nice, easy, relaxed delivery, and then the ball's on you. And he has, somewhat like Pat Rapp, he has that natural cut fastball that's like 95-mile-an-hour slider, which you just can't really master, and that Rivera has.
That's tough to get to. Let's see if the Orioles have the formula this afternoon, down by 2. So the Birds going to need a base runner, as Albert Bell will settle in to face Mariano Rivera. Rivera, the career high 45 saves a year ago, only gave up a home run last year. And Ivan Rodriguez took him deep this year, a couple weeks ago in here on a Saturday afternoon. And he is pretty much immune to giving up the long ball, isn't he?
I think I remember Rafi getting him here one day, but that's about it. No current member of the Orioles has a home run against Rivera.
Albert Bell with a drive to center, but right at Bernie Williams for out number 1. Bell down on the drive to center field. There's Harold Baines now. Mariano Rivera, young man, of course, from Panama, now 30 years of age. And Mike, in your mind, is he now the most dominant closer in the game?
Yeah, and I think just the way the Yankee bullpen is built, you know, it really has a nice left-right balance to it till you get to the end and to Rivera. But he's just a very dominating closer. He doesn't walk people. And Joe Torre really has it down where he works in 60-65 games a year. Really just limited pretty much to the 9th inning now. When he first went to the bullpen, or certainly he was a starter all the way through the minor leagues. Actually started some games in the big leagues. But you just don't really pick him up at all. Hides the ball through his delivery.
Of course, in 1996, he was the setup guy. He was the caddy for John Wetland to get the ball to Wetland in the 9th inning.
Yeah, went 8-3 that year. In 107 innings pitched that year, he struck out 130 and walked just 34.
That 0-2 to Baines missed in.
He's always had that great command. Rivera's first year in professional ball, he went 5-1 with an 0.17 ERA.
Baines trying to battle back now. He's even the count at 2-2. By adding that little cut, that late cut on that fastball, very effective against left-handed hitters.
Again, you just don't see the ball. You can't pick it up. If you watch, he keeps it really behind his back all the way through his delivery.
And it's deceiving, isn't it, Mike? Easy and free flowing.
So smooth,
yeah.
But the ball is hidden behind him, and then he has this. He throws up in the zone quite a bit. He likes to ride the ball up like sort of a high cutter.
Harold Baines now waits the 2-2 from Rivera. Soft line drive that got over the glove of Derek Jeter. Base hit left field. A flare for Baines that fell.
Well, gives the Orioles some hope, though. Now the tying run will come to the plate. Brady Anderson will come in and run for Harold Baines. Well, he gets fisted and the ball's hit so softly, I think Jeter mistimes his jump.
Brady Anderson now in the pinch running mode here in the top of the 9th. You see, Mike, this is now where that one run the Yankees got makes a world of difference.
Yep. Be a steal situation possibly if it was a one-run ball game, but it is not, with it being down 2.
There's Cal Ripken against Rivera. Cal trying to get all over that Rivera heater. Cal 0 for 3 today. See, against Mariano Rivera. He's driven in 3 runs with his 3 lifetime base hits. Working off that third base side of the rubber is Rivera. An 0-1 to Ripken. And 0-2. The O's have just gotten 1 on the board after the big 10-run outburst last night. The 3-home run night. It's been a different story today for both sides. Anderson aboard. 1 down here in the 9th. And 0-2 coming to Ripken. Laid off that cutter.
That's pretty much all Rivera features pitch after pitch. It's that cutter up and down, in and out. The ball just sort of skid across the strike zone.
Posada setting up away for the 1-2. This is popped up. Tino Martinez says he will. And does for out number 2 here in the 9th. It's going to leave it up to Jeff Conine as the O's are down to their final out here in game 2 of this set in Yankee Stadium. Jeff Conine today looking for his first base hit. Eddie Murray and Brady Anderson, they're just saying go ahead if they're going to let you take it. And I think Brady is with Martinez behind him. Yeah, there he goes as the Yankees will not bother with Brady Anderson. So defensive indifference.
Right. Again, the importance of that run the Yankees picked up in the bottom of the 8th. Be way different.
Got off the glove of Posada, so now Anderson will move to 90 feet away.
He's hard to, certainly throws hard, and he's hard to catch. Well, again, just slides along.
Conine waits on a 2-0. 3-0.
Well, Greg Myers on deck has pretty good numbers against Rivera. He's 3 for 7, 429 average. Conine has 3 at bats against Rivera, 1 for 3.
Those would like to get Conine aboard. Let's get the potential tying run on base. There's a called strike. And it's a final out of Fenway Park. How about that? Steve Traxel outduels Pedro Martinez 1-0. Tampa Bay beats Martinez in Boston, his first loss of the year. 3-1 to Conine. That misses. And the Orioles have put a couple aboard as Rivera walking Jeff Conine, and now Greg Myers, the left-handed bat, face Rivera with a chance to keep the Orioles alive here in the 9th. Myers at 0 for 3 as he faces Rivera. That's what you're saying, Mike. Sometimes you think, well, we got the matchup. You got an edge with a left-handed hitter, but because of Rivera's cutter that he's added, not so sure.
I don't know if you want that pitch breaking away from you or into you.
Yeah.
You can see now certainly Tino Martinez at first will hold the runner on. That represents the tying run. That's the one they're concerned about, is Conine's run.
Well, not bad. 3 base hits, 7 appearances, driven in a couple.
Greg Myers, a terrific fastball hitter. I think that's why those kind of numbers against Rivera.
It's on the outside corner. So Myers now in an 0-2 hole against Mariano Rivera. They'll get on their feet here in Yankee Stadium. Don't see Rivera work down and away often, Mike.
Low bullet.
The 0-2 to Myers. Got him, and it's over. Called third on Greg Myers, and this one is done as Mike Hargrove giving that long stare at that home plate umpire, Mike Monroe. So that'll do it. The Yankees have won their 6th in a row. The O's have now dropped 4 in a row and 2 straight here. They begin the series in the Bronx. 3-1 the final. Yankees win it. Come on back and tell you about it in a moment.
WB50's coverage of Baltimore Orioles baseball has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at www.southwest.com, a symbol of e-freedom. By Canon, so advanced, it's simple. And by Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wilds of communication.
Won the final on this Saturday afternoon in Yankee Stadium as the Yanks have won both games so far this 3-game weekend set. Roger Clemens with a victory, improving to 3-2. Pat Rapp, tough luck loser. Our Dodge different player of the game, though, today, Mike. Roger Clemens was very effective in his 7 innings.
It was good, very good early in the game, and so they got enough runs for Roger to win his 250th career win. So a pretty important day for Roger. He'll always remember today. But I think what the Orioles will remember, Pat Rapp, really a tough luck loser, a game he certainly could have won.
Rapp was excellent. He went 7+ and only gave up the 3 runs, but he winds up the loser. Yankees with a win today. We're back with more on the Orioles television network. They leave Yankee Stadium, this large sellout crowd here in the Bronx following the Yankees 3-1 victory over the O's. Second straight for the New Yorkers over the Birds, as the Orioles now have dropped 4 in a row. So let's go back to the 8th inning, Mike. Our Chevrolet dealer's play of the game. B.J. Surhoff scalds it on one hop right at Bellinger, and this was when the Birds were only down 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 ball game. The shield's on the error by Bellinger, and certainly B.J. hits it well, but right at the second baseman, they're able to turn the double play and really get out of the inning. The Yankees added another run in the bottom of the 8th, and it was lights out after that.
And Michael Rega, Mike Flanagan with you here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. And, of course, the Orioles, as we said, just can't get it in concert in terms of getting the solid pitching effort today from Pat Rapp, as once again he proves that he can go into the 6th, 7th inning. Actually went into the 8th today, but the bats were silent against the Rocket.
It really was. Again, they wasted some offense last night. They scored 10 runs. Today they come back and score 1 against Clemens. So again, just not getting the pitching and hitting the lineup on the proper evenings and days. So hopefully they can do a little bit better tomorrow.
And so the O's have now dropped 4 in a row and back just a game over the 500 mark at 15-14. As we'll come back and tell you a little bit more, break down this game 2 of the series. That's next from Yankee Stadium. 3-1 the final this afternoon as we swing you back inside Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The Orioles losers to the New York Yankees. So the Birds now drop another game to the Yanks, who sit atop the American League East. Mike, so in an effort to attempt to avoid the sweep tomorrow, the Orioles will go with Sidney Ponson. Ramiro Mendoza will get the start for the Yankees, and it'd be important for the Orioles maybe to try to get some runs on the board against a sinker bowler early.
Yeah, and Sidney Ponson has pitched extremely well in his young career against the Yankees. So you're right. Get some runs on the board early for Ponson. Let Ponson get a little comfort zone, something to work with, and maybe pitch another complete game tomorrow. But they really do need another dominant pitching performance and some offense.
And no question, and the Orioles want to avoid obviously being swept tomorrow, avoid falling to the 500 mark, and go in Toronto feeling a little bit better about themselves. Tough one last night, and then the strong pitching performance from Roger Clemens in the Yankees bullpen today. All adds up to a 3-1 New York Yankee win over the Orioles, and we need you to be right back here with us tomorrow afternoon in the Bronx. That's when you should join us on the Orioles television network. 3-game series will be put away tomorrow, and it all starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to remind you, Orioles baseball, a presentation of CBS Cable, the Baltimore Orioles, and Major League Baseball. Now, producer Doug Yulacki, director Bill Bell, our graphics coordinator Chip Whitfield, and Mike Flanagan. I'm Michael Ruggight. Thanks for your Orioles baseball company. Yanks win it. So long, everybody.
Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Orioles.